going on, everybody? This is Dave from This Is Punk Promotions. I'm with Steve from the Scoffs. How's it going, Steve?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. Let's get started. When and
All
how
right.
did you form?
Say what?
When and how did you form?
Let's see. I guess would have been April of 2019, somewhere thereabouts. I was in a band with the bassist previously, and well, I was in a band that had been broken up 5 years. We did a 1 year reunion, and in that, like one of the guys dropped out after one show, and I had all these shows booked. The band was kind of known, at least in our parts. And so I was left holding the bag. So my buddy Nate stepped in. He was the photographer for that band for years. And he said, well, I know the song, so I'll play bass. So we did that 1 year reunion. And at the tail end of that, he and I decided to just do kind of old school punk rock stuff. And so I said, I know the guy, my friend Gabor. I'd played with his band a million times in my old band. And he said, if I ever needed a guitarist, to call him. So I called him, and I had played in a band with this guy, Rob, and we did all punk rock Elvis. Like it was all eras of Elvis, but all done punk rock style.
That's
And I knew
awesome.
he was great. So pulled him in, and man, the chemistry, we all knew each other. And so it just, boom, we had our first show within a month.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So where'd
Pretty
you get
wild.
the name from?
I had a list that I made, of like, I don't know, 50 names or something. And I'd come to practice and I'd lay one out and I don't know. And then I walked in one day and I said, how about the Scoffs? And they went, yes. There was just no discussion about it. Like, yeah, that's the one.
And that was
Uh,
it.
yeah, it kind of captured that kind of 70s vibe. And, it sounded kind of snotty, kind of smart ass. And that's kind of my personality. So yeah, just locked in. And then Nate and I kind of collabed on the logo, and there you go. Like it all came together faster than any band I've ever been in. And I've got gray in my beard, so I've been around the block a few times, but man, I've never seen it like this, where it just fell into place like it was supposed to be there.
That's awesome, man. So
Yeah.
you're from Seattle, Washington. How's the scene there? Do you have a favorite venue, a favorite local band?
Yeah. So we've always had a strong music scene here, and we've got a lot of clubs here. So that's kind of fostered different music scenes over the years. I think people are familiar with grunge, and um, it's because we had such a big art scene here, and we had so many places that were willing to become venues overnight. Um, we've always had a big underground scene with house shows and stuff, but we still, venues are disappearing by the year, and especially after this, we'll see what happens. But as things go more towards dance oriented nights and stuff like that, you lose some clubs, but we've still got a good amount. My favorite of them, there was a place that was kind of legendary in Seattle, or celebrated rather, called the Fun House, and it still exists in a form. They took over the lounge side of a much bigger club in town called El Corazon. In the 80s, it was the off ramp, or 80s and 90s. So I think that's still, just because the name, like it resonates with me. It may not be the same venue, but I still love it. El Corazon is a great stage to play on. It gets loud as hell in there. I don't know, man. We've got some good venues, so it's hard to pick. People are, and when you get to know some of the bookers here, they're really cool, and so it's hard to stack them up, because you feel like they're part of the band with you, or part of the family. I'll say Funhouse just because of its legacy.
That's always
Right.
good working with good bookers.
Yeah, Kraken Bar, actually. I should remember that, because that's right up the street from me, and my homies bartend there, and they put on its punk shows fucking every night of the week. So yeah, I definitely need to include them. Favorite bands in town? You asked about that. Fuck. I really like the Drowns, and I think a lot of people have heard their record this year. It really is kind of my kind of music that I listen to. I got a lot of friends and a lot of bands, and a lot of great bands, but that's the kind of stuff that resonates with me. A little more old school sound, a bit of oi in there, and yeah. So I dig
That's
those guys.
awesome, man. Very
Yeah.
cool. Who are your biggest influences?
Oh, Christ on a Crutch is easily one of my biggest ones, even though the Scoffs don't play hardcore. That was an album that changed my life overnight. I mean, my buddy handed me a copy of the tape and I heard it, I don't know, somewhere in the 90s. And I went from listening to just Sex Pistols, Ramones, anything from the 70s, basically, up through like 83. And all of a sudden I was like, shit, this is out there too. And then, started digging through hardcore stuff. I remain mostly entrenched in the 70s scenes. So I really, really love the Vibrators, Buzzcocks, Generation X. And Sex Pistols was a big jumping off point for me. I loved the Ramones and the New York scene, but once I heard that snarly British stuff, Discharge and Crass and all those, I went,
Game over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, once I heard more aggressive music and snottier lyrics, I was like, all right, count me in. So
that's awesome, dude.
Very yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna ask you some non-music questions now just to get to know you better. I did this with the other bands I interviewed. Are you ready?
Sure, hit me.
All right, first one. Favorite sports team?
None.
Okay, if you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I'm trying to remember the name of our lingerie football league. We have one down south, the Seattle Steam or something like that. No, I'll vote for our hockey team because I'm kind of stoked to go see that stuff.
Kraken.
So the Seattle Kraken is going to be my choice. So I grew up in Minnesota originally. I got out here when I was 7. So I grew up with hockey. So it's a little different to me than say football or basketball, which kind of bores me to watch on TV. Fun live, but I'll never tune into a game, Kraken.
Very cool. Hockey is a great sport.
Yeah. I mean, you get to watch a fight every now and then. It's kind of fun.
All right. Favorite video game?
Favorite video game? Man, I am terrible at video games. I've never been good at them. Like, I'm still trying to beat King Hippo on Punch-Out, So I think I'd have to go back to stuff that I played when I was younger on arcades, like Rampage, or what's the oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Golden Axe and Rampage. Like I used to play those a lot in the arcade and wasted a lot of money because I would die after 1 minute of playing. I'm terrible, man. And I'm the guy that gets all frustrated about it and throws the controller down. He's like, this game sucks, And it's because I just suck at it. And no matter how hard I work, I can't get better. I don't know what's wrong with me.
That was me back in the day.
Yeah.
Playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah. Well, did you ever play 720 or Skate Die? So I used to play the hell out of those at the arcades and stuff. I mean, when they were originally on arcade, and then at home I got it and just tried to beat those games. My friends would always slay these games and talk about, oh, have you seen what's in level 8 or whatever with the bees and stuff? And I'm like, oh man, I haven't gotten past 2. I dig it, but I suck at it. Yeah, I have one of those little mini NES things, so I thought maybe, now that I'm much older, maybe my ability has gotten better, but we're still trying.
There's one way to find out.
There's only one way, and that's through, yeah.
All right. Would you rather hang with pirates or ninjas?
I think pirates, because there'd be a lot more drinking. You get to stop off in some sunny beaches and stuff. Ninjas are going to be hanging out in dark alleys, all cold, wearing their pajamas and shit,
You can look for gold.
Yeah, I'd look for gold. I'd get a grill. I'd make a grill out of gold. I'd walk around and buy ice cream with doubloons. It'd be pretty cool. Get to wear those poofy pants, roomy. Yeah. That tight stuff's not going to look good on me these days. So I'd be the one ninja that looks out of place.
Captain Steve Sparrow.
Yeah, they could pick me out of a lineup. He's the ninja shaped like a pear.
Would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Vader?
Oh, that's a tough one. Talking all backwards like a puzzle, or talking like you have one of those voice things after a tracheotomy. Vader's definitely more intimidating, but I think it'll be tough to record an album if you talk like Vader.
True.
You got one note basically, just so I guess I'd go Yoda just because, maybe I could still make some music with a lute or something,
You can't go wrong with either one.
No.
They're both awesome.
Yeah. And nobody hates Yoda, right? Like,
Right. Everybody loves him.
right. But, you got to hate a bad guy because he kills people and
Right.
stuff. He killed a bunch of kids, right? That's
Well,
not
he
good.
redeemed himself at the end, so it was all good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I mean, there was still that matter of, slaughtering a whole bunch of Jedi
True. He
kids.
did do a lot of terrible things.
It's hard to overlook that one.
Yeah. All right. If you were stranded on a desert island with 3 items, what would you have with you?
Okay. Let's see. I would need something to cut and dig with. So, because I mean, you could fold a palm frond and stuff and get some rainwater or some steam going, and I don't know. So I get 3 items, right?
Yes.
Okay. A survival knife, a lighter, like a Zippo. Although that's going to run out of fuel. No, I would need one of those little kits to make sparks and make fire. And then a guitar, because I'm going to be bored as hell sitting there. Yeah,
Gotta have something to entertain you.
exactly. I mean, you can't really listen to your stereo or something. Although I guess one of those wind-up batteries might have been a better choice, because then I could maybe signal somebody or something.
Very cool.
I chose guitar. I'm stuck with it.
What was that?
I chose guitar. I'm stuck with it.
All right, last one. If you could wear one type of shoes for the rest of your life, what type of shoes would it be?
Probably combat boots.
Okay.
I've gotten so many years out of combat boots, and like Docs aren't made the way they used to be. I've never owned a pair of Solaveres or anything, so I can't speak to like the British made ones, but I guess I owned like 90s Docs when they were still made in England. But they kind of fall apart now, and military boots will stick around forever. They're tough. I mean, once you break them in, they're pretty comfy. Keep your feet dry. Yeah, so I'll stick with that, even though, I mean, they won't look good with shorts, but I guess I could have gone with a shoe that would be more versatile, huh? Oh, well.
What's that?
I said, oh, well, I guess I won't be wearing shorts for a while.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, man, coming on and chatting up a little bit. And like I said earlier, it's nice to finally meet you. And
yeah,
we'll be in touch. And I really appreciate you supporting me in what I do.
Absolutely.
To me.
I'm glad we've got people out there like yourself and doing what you do to support music. And I mean, there's a lot of bands that would never get on the radio or any notice anywhere, so yeah, anybody looking out for local bands and underground bands is great. So yeah, anybody that sees this, we're at thescoffs.com and you can find all of our stuff on there. Yeah.
Cool, man. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.
You got it. Cheers.
Peace.
Take care. Bye.